Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we're really getting into something crucial, but often, let's be honest, a bit stressful for filmmakers. We're talking about how to build a pitch stack that actually sells your film idea. You know, for many creators, the script, that's the passion, the art. But this pitch deck thing, it's really the strategic tool. It's what turns that script into, well, hopefully a real movie. It can be the difference, right?
That's absolutely the core of it. It's a vital distinction to make. We're not talking about just a slideshow with some nice images. A pitch deck is really a focused, high-impact presentation. Its job to get people excited, to get them on board. Think investors, distributors, maybe even key actors. It's kind of like the film's visual business card and its elevator pitch all rolled into one compact package. It has to sell the creative vision, yes, definitely. But just as importantly, it needs to scream commercial viability.
Okay, so our mission today for you listening is to get beyond just like listing stuff you need. We want to really unpack the key ingredients, yes, but also the strategic thinking behind them so you can build something that genuinely grabs attention and makes potential partners feel confident. All right, let's dive right in. And maybe the biggest thing hanging over this whole process is time, or rather the lack of it. Our sources are pretty clear. You've got maybe, what, 50 to 60 seconds for someone to absorb this whole thing.
Yeah, that's the killer constraint. A minute, tops. It means you have to be absolutely ruthless with editing, and the structure has to be perfect. So we've kind of boiled it down from the sources into about 12 essential components. And the order matters. It's designed to pull them in. You absolutely have to start strong with the title page. That means the film title, obviously, the logline, that killer one-sentence hook, and your contact details or production company.
Okay, hook 'em fast with the logline. What comes right after that initial hook?
You expand, but keep it tight. Next up is the synopsis. We're talking 1, maybe 2 paragraphs max, compelling summary of the story, the journey. Then right after that, you hit them with the concept or vision statement. This is your chance to define what makes this film different. What's its core idea, its genre? And, really important, the overall tone and style. You got to convey the feel. So once you've painted that creative picture, you pivot slightly to the practical reality, the target audience. And you need to be specific here, like really specific. It shows you've actually thought about who's going to buy a ticket for this film, demonstrates market awareness.
Okay, specifics matter. And this feels like where the comparisons come in, right? The famous X meets Y thing. But picking the right comparables or comps, this has a strategy to it, isn't there? You can't just pick like 2 movies you liked.
No, absolutely not. This is actually where a lot of decks stumble, honestly. Comps need to satisfy like 3 key criteria. They need to be recent, think last 3, maybe 5 years. They must have been commercially successful, obviously. And here's the critical one people miss. They must align with your film's intended target budget range.
Ah, okay. So comparing your tiny indie film to, I don't know, Avatar is just going to get you laughed out of the room.
Exactly. It immediately signals you don't understand the market scale or the costs involved. The comps aren't just flavor. They're defining your film's specific place in the market and showing it's financially plausible.
That's a really crucial distinction. You're proving you know the economics. Okay, so we've set the scene, defined the audience, placed it in the market with comps.
Yeah.
Now we need to make them feel it, right?
Yeah, precisely. Now comes the visual references. Your mood board, essentially. This is where you show, not just tell. You use powerful images, maybe existing film stills, concept art, whatever conveys the aesthetic, the cinematography style, the overall vibe, and closely linked to that, you often include brief, engaging character breakdowns, especially if you're trying to attract talent.
Okay, so that covers the creative heart. Now let's shift gears, like you said, to the stuff that seals the deal, the more business end of things. The team and the budget. Let's get into those nuts and bolts.
Yep. First, the team slide. Super important. You introduce your key players, director, producer, writer, and critically, you highlight anyone already attached. Got an actor interested, a director of photography with a great reel. Put them here. It builds credibility instantly. Then, right after, comes the budget overview.
Hold on a sec there. For listeners who maybe aren't deep in film finance talk, our sources mention terms like above the line and below the line costs. Can you just quickly break that down? What does that actually mean in the budget summary?
Good point. Yeah, that's industry shorthand, but crucial. The budget overview is high level, true, but uses these standard categories. So above the line costs are basically the main creative and talent expenses agreed upon before filming starts. Think story rights, the writer's fee, the director, the main actors. Below the line is pretty much everything else needed for the actual physical production. Crew salaries, camera rentals, location fees, set building, catering, post-production costs like editing and sound mixing too. Showing you understand this basic breakdown, even in a summary, just shows professionalism.
Got it. Above the line, key creative talent up front. Below the line, the physical making of costs.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Right. So to round out the practical side, you need a timeline, a realistic schedule, pre-production, shoot, post, potential release window, and then maybe the most direct slide, the call to action. What do you actually want from the person reading this? Be specific. Is it seeking $3 million in equity funding, or maybe looking for a North American distribution partner? Spell it out. And finally, of course, clear contact information. Can't forget that.
Okay, that's a lot to pack into 60 seconds. Which brings us back to the strategy. It absolutely cannot just be walls of text, right? It has to hit visually, fast. The goal is making them see the movie instantly.
Visuals are everything here. Seriously, that mood board we mentioned. It's probably your most powerful tool for this. It's not just, here are some cool pictures. It defines the color palette, the lighting style, the composition, the emotional texture of your film. And, if your film is supposed to be dark and gritty, the whole deck should feel a bit dark and gritty. Use filters, design choices, and yeah, definitely avoid big blocks of text. Nobody reads paragraphs when they're speed flipping through text.
Right. Show, don't just tell.
Yeah.
But okay, talking about showing strengths-building confidence, often that comes down to attachments, big names. We hear about the no first yes rule in Hollywood all the time. Nobody wants to be the first to jump in, so you need to show momentum, show who's already involved.
That rule is basically gospel, yes. You have to highlight every single win you've already secured, every advantage. Okay, but here's the scenario. What if you're, say, a first-time feature director? You've got a killer script, you know it's good, but you genuinely don't have any big names attached yet. How do you build that crucial confidence without, bluffing or overstating things? That's a really common and critical challenge. If you don't have the star attachments yet, you absolutely have to double down on what is unique and secured about your project. Things others can't easily replicate. Focus on the proven skills of your core team, even if it's in other areas. Maybe the director has award-winning shorts. Maybe the producer has a great track record with budgets. And definitely highlight unique assets like secured amazing locations, the sources mentioned, like the Houdini house, something specific and evocative. You're essentially selling the project's inevitability and its unique edge even before the big names sign on. That makes sense. Shifting the focus from just star power to unique production value or team expertise. Okay, and flip side. What if your film is set in, say, a very ordinary environment, a simple domestic drama in regular houses? What's the mistake to avoid there? Oh, definitely don't include boring photos. Like, please, no pictures of just a generic bathroom or a standard kitchen unless it's somehow incredibly unique or visually striking in context. If the setting is ordinary, focus your visuals on capturing the mood, the emotional texture, the relationships through carefully chosen reference images or concept art, not literal, bland documentation of a dull space. Only put in genuinely exciting or evocative details. The sources are really clear. If an element doesn't actively sell the project, just leave it out. And never, ever fake material like locations you don't actually have access to.
Right. Keep it compelling or cut it. Okay, let's talk tools. People need to actually make these things. PowerPoint comes to mind, but
yeah, PowerPoint is usable, sure, but it often ends up looking very businessy, corporate. It takes real design skill to make a PowerPoint deck feel cinematic.
exactly. We want cinematic, not boardroom slides. So for someone who isn't a graphic designer, what's the easiest path to getting that polished, cohesive look the sources recommend?
Well, the tool that comes up again and again as a favorite is Canva. It's just incredibly user-friendly, very template-driven. And a really neat trick with Canva is you're not stuck with one template. You can actually pull pages you like from different templates and mix them together to create something more custom that doesn't scream, I use template X. And crucially, for film decks, Canva has built-in photo filters, things labeled like drama or epic. You can start applying a consistent cinematic tone to your images right there in the platform. It's very helpful.
Okay, so templates for structure, filters for tone. That seems manageable, covers the basics.
It really does.
Yeah.
Now, if you need to do more advanced stuff, like really manipulate an image to get a very specific visual texture for your mood board, then yeah, you might look at Photoshop or the free option, GIMP. But honestly, for adding that extra bit of visual flair quickly, like maybe some subtle grunge texture or a lens flare effect, a tool like BeFunky is mentioned as being great. It's apparently quite affordable and has lots of click and apply effects. Easy way to add polish.
Speaking of easy polish, the sources had this fantastic, super practical tip for team headshots, getting those professional-looking photos without needing a pro photographer. This tip alone is gold, I think.
Yeah.
That one's brilliant. It's all about using natural light smartly. The trick is, take the photos outside, but have the person stand in the shade.
But make sure there's a large, bright, ideally white surface nearby, like a wall that's in direct sunlight. That surface acts like a giant natural reflector, bouncing soft, even light onto the person's face.
Ah, so you avoid the harsh overhead sun shadows, but still get bright, flattering light, like you might find in an outdoor mall courtyard or next to a light-colored building.
Exactly. It creates beautiful, soft lighting.
Yeah.
And then for the final touch,
The digital touch-up.
right, you can use something like the Be Funky tool again. Apparently, it has a specific section just for portrait touch-ups. You don't need photo editing skills. You can just click to, say, subtly brighten the eyes or maybe soften a temporary blemish. It just adds that last bit of professionalism to the headshots on your team slide, making the whole deck feel more buttoned up.
Okay, that's super useful. So we've got the elements, the visual strategy, the tools, but this raises a really important point about effectiveness. We know the core elements now, but how do you adapt the deck? It can't be one size fits all, can it?
No, absolutely not. This is crucial. You must tailor the pitch deck to who you're sending it to. The same exact deck won't work equally well for everyone.
Right, like pitching to a potential investor versus trying to get a star actor attached.
Yeah.
Those are different conversations requiring different emphasis.
Precisely. Let's take those two examples. If you're sending the deck to a financier, their primary focus is the business case. So you need to front load and emphasize the market analysis, those carefully chosen comparables, the budget overview, potential ROI, the financial stuff. The creative vision matters, but it supports the investment case.
Okay, focus on the money for the money people.
Yep.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Now, contrast that with sending it to an A-list actress you want for the lead role. Her agent isn't going to care that much about the detailed budget breakdown, right? For her, you lead with the creative. You emphasize the character breakdown for her role, really sell the depth and appeal of it, highlight the unique tone and vision statement, make the story and the role irresistible.
So you're selling the artistic opportunity to the artist and the financial security or potential to the investor, using the same core ingredients, but shuffling the emphasis.
Exactly. You reorder, maybe slightly redesign pages, change the emphasis in the text you do use, and the final step, how you actually send it.
The delivery format. Don't send the PowerPoint file, right? Never. Always, always save and send the final version as a PDF. This does a few things. It guarantees everyone can open it, regardless of their software.
It locks in your formatting, your fonts, your image placements exactly as you intended. And importantly, it prevents the recipient from accidentally editing or messing with your original file. PDF is the standard. Okay, solid advice. So, wrapping this deep dive up, the pitch deck isn't just slides, it's this strategic blend. It's the bridge between your art and the actual business of film.
It needs clarity, it needs to be concise, visually compelling, and, as we just discussed, really tailored to who's reading it. Success means proving both that creative spark and the commercial sense behind it.
Yeah, perfectly put. And maybe connecting it to the bigger picture, mastering this pitch stack process. It demonstrates something crucial about you, the filmmaker. It shows you're not just an artist, but you're also thinking like a responsible project manager, someone who understands the market realities. That demonstrable confidence is often what actually secures the funding or the attachment. That's a great final thought. It's about building that trust. Okay, so to leave you, our listener, with something to chew on, a final challenge based on everything we've covered.
We know the logline is hook number one, and the mood board grabs the eye visually. But thinking purely about commercial viability, that practical side, which single element, maybe the super specific target audience description, those rock-solid comparables, or that clear, high-level budget overview, which one would you make sure hits hardest right near the beginning to guarantee that busy exec or investor keeps reading past the first few seconds? What's your strategy for that immediate commercial validation hook?